Yeah, so this is just a small board put together with 6 drives and a wah on, as you've currently said. So here at the moment is a dynamic overdrive, which is the black candy with the paisley skulls on. This one here.
Does it have a name?
Yeah, this one is called the Revolution. Okay, so basically in a nutshell, it's a dynamic overdrive, and it's got 3 different types of overdrives in the box. So the center section runs through a chip on the switch, and then to the left it runs through silicon diodes, and to the right it runs through LED diodes.
For what you told me about that one, it's not a tube screamer, is it? But it's got some characteristics, some elements of it.
It's the fundamentals are based on the tube screamer style circuit, but it's been totally modified, and it's quite potent in overdrive, sort of in the mid range. And the current settings we've got on there at the moment is the drive is probably at the 9 o'clock position. Okay, so there's not a great deal on, but it's quite loud.
It does gain.
Yeah. So, and then moving over to the left, we have my JH Fuzz, which is this one. This is in like a turquoise aqua candy colour with the paisley skulls imagery on it. This one I've slightly customised because it has a halo light ring on it. So just to show everybody, you switch it on. This one has a blue halo light ring on it. Ooh. And it's got a slightly wider top part of the knob on there, which is a sort of turquoisey blue colour, so it colour coordinates a bit with the pedal. So this is something that you can customise your pedal to if you're interested in how the aesthetics look as well as the insides and how they work. So then again, moving over to the left in the nice aluminium housing, this is a plexi drive called the PlexStar, and it comes in a black with gold metal flake on it with imagery over the top in its normal guise. Unfortunately, due to sales, I've had to remove that housing from the board and ship it out to somebody already, so it's in a plain housing. But this one has also got a bass boost on it as well, so it really thickens the sound up. Okay.
I did notice that, and we'll hear that when we get to that. It definitely makes it jump right out. Yeah.
So then moving on to the back row, staying onto the left hand side, we have this pedal here, which again is in the aqua candy with the paisley skulls on it, and this one is called Dr. Drive. So this is a drive pedal. Again, it's a heavy, thick sounding overdrive, and again it's got a high-low filter on there. And again, this one just so happens it's got the blue halo light ring on it. So because this is one of the demo boards that I take to the exhibition, so I try and show what kind of customizations that are available. The Outlaw in the middle, this is in a metallic purple. It's a rainbow metallic purple colour, and this is based on a very high profile overdrive style circuit. Okay, but it's an adaptation of that circuit in the terms of the drive potentiometer is a dual gang one. So you can go from very bitey, crystal clean sounds where the note breaks up at the end of the note to actually driving it to the full rock sound where the note breaks up as soon as you attack it. This one as well has the different overdrive switching through the silicon diodes and the LED diodes, but this also has a switch that does a normal thin and fat mode, so that changes the capacitance on the inside of the circuit, so therefore it can make a Les Paul sound thinner, it can make a Strat sound fatter, and it just gives you, again, so in effect really what you've got is 6 different variations of overdrive in this box. And then over to the right side now, we've got the good old Commandant, which is just a straightforward overdrive circuit with no frills on. Nice warm sound, and you can go from a clean sort of bright sound to a sort of a rock sound. And then on the end we have a wah pedal, which is in a black and silver Insanity Skulls edition. This one, and this is what I call my Type 2 wah pedal. Okay, so if you go to my website, which is www.flattleyguitarpedals.co.uk, you will see there's 3 different types of wah that I make. So today I've brought the Type 2. This one internally on the inside has a torque pot as the potentiometer, so that's high good quality because that's what does the work and normally wears out after a while on the wah pedals. And it also has a halo inductor on the circuit board. So this is a great combination. It's got a very, very good sound, and the range of it is very good as well. So I set the pots up so you get the full range from clicking the on-off switch on to going back to the heel down. So as soon as you start moving the pedal, you start the effect going, rather than actually in some pedals that you can move the pedal slightly and you still get no wiring effect. So that's just an adjustment issue.
Cool. So it's adjusted by ear, not to have kind of halfway not doing a lot before you get. I've noticed on a lot of classic wahs that all the actions on the top kind of third.
Yeah.
So definitely tuned this so that it's much more even.
The full range. Yeah.
Yeah.
And inside this one as well, there's potentiometers. Trim pots, and you've got gain, Q value, mids and bass, and you've got a bypass trim as well. So if you turn the bypass trim out, when you kick the wah in, you don't get the tone drop, the level drop, so it doesn't suck the life out of it. The beauty about this wah is, though, I make custom wahs, so that if you decide you don't want halo inductor in there, you would like a red phasal, a yellow phasal, then that can be placed in there. Okay, so this circuit here today is also available to take my wah type 1, which has 2 inductors on the inside. Okay, and I have one that I use on the demo board, which has a halo and a yellow phasal inductor on it, and it has some external controls. But again, it can be tailor-made. You can have, if the inductor is available on the open market, then it can go in there. So you can really customize the wah pedal you want, and I make them in the color schemes that I like and that are available at the time. So, but if you'd like it in the aqua candy with the paisley skulls on, you can have it like that, so the options are limitless.
Good stuff.
With the wah.
So if you're a serious wah fanatic and you've got an exact sound in your mind, call Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. Right, so let's have a listen to what this amp sounds like as is. This is our TSL 100 Marshall through the Zilla 212 on the clean channel with not a lot of gain, and my trusty Les Paul. So.
Okay,
if you would
the Les Paul, I've just backed the volumes off on the treble and the rhythm volumes, and we'll start with the Revolution. Okay, so apologise for my playing now, but I'm just going to play some chords so you can hear the tone of the pedal.
Onward. Well, let's just quickly hear how it sounds without, just to give people a frame of reference.
Okay, so we'll try with the Revolution first, and we'll be running through the integrated chip on this circuit with the switch in the middle position, and we'll start with the treble position. Okay, so in the treble position there, the drive is at 9 o'clock, so there's not a great deal on. Volume is at 11 and tone is around about 10 o'clock.
Right, so I'm going to start playing with it while Paul plays a zig guitar. Sounds great, and the highest I went with the drive then was probably just beyond 12 o'clock with a couple of is it the LED or the clipping? the silicon clipping diodes.
Okay, yeah.
Because the middle position without those is much more in your face, isn't it? But it's got a lot of variety on that one.
Okay.
So, what else? So that's for... Who would you say that one's aimed at? Is that kind of modern rock?
Yeah, I would say it's aimed at modern rock. It's aimed at classic rock. It's basically aimed at people that like a warmer sounding overdrive sound. So it can be quite versatile for all different types of rocks.
Right.
And depending on the amp that you've got, you can make it sound a bit more heavier rock by turning the drive up and then just turning the volume down on the pedal so you can still hear the notes.
Cool. Right, onward. So, if we want something that's a little more retro, I suppose we're looking at the Hendrixy style.
Yeah,
JH
this is a
fuzz.
sort of Hendrix style. Just to be clear, it's not an octave fuzz, it's just a standard fuzz of that era.
Right, okay.
Okay, so this is the JH fuzz, which is styled on the era of Hendrix sounding fuzz. So it's not an octave fuzz as such.
Let's have a listen. Quite a difference.
Yeah.
But here's the one that really got me. I'll try this without the boost first.
Yeah.
So this is the Plexi in a box,
Yeah.
which seems a little strange running into the front of a Marshall, but it's a very clean Marshall setup.
Yeah.
This is one of the more modern Marshall tones with a TSL 100. So, like we played before, the amp is practically clean, where the old Plexis they've never seen clean. They don't do clean, do they?
No.
So that's what this is going to sound like with the gain on 9 o'clock, so hardly on at all. Let's hear the difference between not on and then.
Okay, so yeah, I mean the switch basically is a bass boost. So when we flick that in, you'll see it.
Right.
On
I noticed a big level bump as well.
Yeah, well, I think that it's part of a bass and a boost at the same time, so
Right.
it really makes it even more crunchy than what it is.
I really like the sound of it with the bass boost in, but I wanted to first try it without.
Yeah. Sorry,
The sustain
I could have gone
on
on forever.
Oh no, that was great. I'll take that any day. With that kind of sustain, I mean, it deserves to be heard.
So yeah, I mean the gain on that's what at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Volume was at 11 o'clock. Tone sort of nearly in the middle.
So
halfway.
that boost really, I mean, I can feel the low end coming out the cabinet in here.
Yeah.
On the same clean channel on this amp.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, that gives you a broad palette. I mean, if you wanted to run an overdrive that's very mid-focused for some parts of the set, and then go what I might call organic, if you know what I mean, it's got that feel and that thump. There's a pedal that does that.
Yeah.
And because the gain is relatively low on it, you could probably put the gain even further down and then push it with another overdrive, I guess.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. I mean, we can demonstrate that. We'll just pick one of the overdrives on the board. We've got a Dr. Driver. We could try it with a JH Fuzz.
Yeah, let's try it with the one we've already heard, the JH Fuzz. So I'll take the drive down on that. So if you want to go for it, I'll get the gain up. Very nice indeed. So it sounds like a driven Plexi, like it should.
Yeah.
But now you've got the options on your feet to just back that right off.
Yeah, and also you won't break your back trying to lug your Marshall Plexi around with you with your 4x12. So
absolutely. Yeah, so let's move on to classic overdrive with the Commandant.
Okay, yeah, so this is, just a standard overdrive pedal that I produce. It has sort of bright, cleanish overdrive sounds, and you can get a more heavier sound as you crank it up, but I wouldn't say it's as heavy as the Revolution or the Plexi.
Okay.
So it's just a little bit more subtle with a rounded off, more warmer tone.
Right. Warm seems to be a theme of your stuff, apart from the fuzzes.
Yeah, I mean, when I say warm tone, I mean it gives you a feeling of it's not too sharp, not too trill, and that's just my preference. And I think again, it's something of an era thing with with some of the analog pedals. So I kind of quite like that personally myself, and I know a lot of other people do. But likewise, I've got other pedals in the range that's for the people who want something a bit more sharper, a bit more cutting, that really does cut through the mix when they need it. So
good stuff. Well, in that case, let's hear the Commandant with everything at noon, and then see where we go from there.
Okay. So nice. It reminds me of that kind of grunge era 90s thing where a lot of them were using drive pedals in front of an amp. It's got that kind of sound, and I like it. But that's what you might call, I suppose, a classic overdrive pedal. Yeah.
But this one is, the Outlaw is more like a Klon type.
Well, yeah,
thing.
it's only like a Klon in the terms of it has a dual gang potentiometer in the drive position. So it's an overdrive circuit with a dual gang potentiometer in it. And what makes this pedal more flexible than some other overdrives is that again it's got the LED switching on it, so hence there you've got 3 different overdrive sounds in it, and also it's got a capacitance changer on it as well, so it gives you a normal, a thin and a fat sound on the guitar. So in effect you've got 6 different types of overdrive in this one little box.
Good stuff. Right, so let's have a listen to it without and then switch it in and then see where we go.
Style of circuit which really cleans up when you need it to and playing, and you don't want to have to switch on, switch off and change volumes.
So if you're the kind of guitarist who would rather have a rig where you can walk to the middle of the stage and then just use a volume control to go from full blast to clean, there's something without having touched the amp head. Leave that on clean. Hey, if you're a pedal guy. So that just went from, it wasn't sparkly clean, but it was a typical Les Paul clean.
Yeah.
Which, of course, with a Strat or whatever, that would sound like itself again.
Yes.
And then you can wind that back in, and that's with the drive that's 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 o'clock drive, and the volume's just before 12, and the tone is just before 12 as well. In fact, no, the tone's at 2.
Yeah, so the tone's a little brighter. I personally tend to like tones just a little on the bright side.
Okay.
Just a little. But that's running into the Plexi, which is acting like something like a Plexi front end of it.
Yeah.
So, it's really reacting like a classic rig would.
Yeah.
But I suppose because we're running the amps so clean, you could do this with a great number of amps.
Yeah, I think so. So
you could fly this setup to somewhere where when you can't take your own gear.
Yeah.
And then the promoter or whoever will say, "What do you need?" And you can go, "I just need a guitar head and a cabinet."
Yeah.
Get the clean sounding reasonable, and then off you go. That's a great way to work. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of things like preamp pedals coming out now with that kind of idea in mind.
Yeah.
And I suppose they're kind of Plexi in a box is that kind of idea.
Yeah, I mean it's it's that of its day in the era. So it's still, well, it speaks for itself. It's still a great sound today.
Yeah.
How many decades on are we from when the Plexi first came out?
Yes, a lot. If you stop to think about it, it makes me slightly dizzy. But that's a lot going on. So there's one more that we've not really explored, and that is the Dr. Drive.
Yeah, the Dr. Drive, this is more of a mid-range, thicker sounding drive, slightly bit more bassy tone, and it's got a high and low filter on it, so you can make it a bit more bassy, or you can make it a little bit more trebly.
Right, let's have a listen to that one. So, having talked about all the drives, it's time for the other portion of this video, which is the aforementioned wah.
Yeah, so this is the Type 2 wah as we talked earlier. Just a halo inductor inside it and a torque pot. A few trim pots inside that have been set to a nice sound and level with what I use at home. It can be adjusted to suit a rig. So the beauty of this wah pedal with the adjustments on it is if you buy one and you're playing like we are now, double humbucker through a sort of Marshall amp, and then in a few years time you change to a Strat single coil pickups and you're playing through a Fender amp for argument's sake, then you've got the adjustment in there to fine tune it to suit the rig. So because it can change if you really need to like up the gain a little bit, drop the Q slightly. So it's kind of universal.
Yeah. So let's have a quick listen,
okay,
as before, to without the wire and then click it on, just to give a...
There we go. So what I'll do is I'll run through clean and I'll flip between the switches on the guitar, and then we'll introduce some nasty noise in there,
yes,
and
indeed.
see how that sides, and we'll flip between the rhythm and treble switch on the guitar again.
Cool.
Okay. So it's probably just as well to play some straightforward chords and then show the range of the wah. So as you can see from that when you click the wah on and you go to the heel down position, as soon as you start applying pressure to the tread plate, the inductor and the pots start working well. So you've got a full sweep, of the pot inside there.
Yeah, you're not waiting halfway for it to start doing something.
So it's really adjusted so you get the full sweep of the range, and it does take a little bit of time to set them up. It's a lot of faffing around with a voltmeter on there and the little adjustments and backing off the plunger and stuff. So, but I think it pays dividends to get a great sound. So, and hopefully people that purchase these will like them and use them for a long time on their board.
I hope so. Well, that's in the boutique business. That's kind of the idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than just going, I want that one, people should kind of go, well, I like this and I like that, but what I want is.
Yeah.
And then that's where you come in and you go, let's do that.
Okay, so we're going to inject a little bit of noise then. So I think what we'll do first of all is we'll try the JH Fuzz and see how we get on with that.
Okay. Important to note as well with that little bit of feedback there that we're not running the amp that loud in the room. We've got a 2 notes captor behind the Marshall head that's used as an attenuator today so that we don't go absolutely deaf, but so that the power tubes can do their thing. And that's still getting that nice organic feedback. It's very nice.
Cool.
So let's just have a look at what happens if we run the Plexi style drive with that, just to see what happens when we push, because we're already getting some character in this. The gain on this head, by the way, is on 2 when we were doing that clean sample and still getting a bit of crunch out of it. Mm-hmm. So when we stick on the Plexi, let's see how much that reacts. Nice. So it really, the Plexi there is really reacting to that wah. And I've used wahs before where, depending on how much gain you've got, it doesn't sound like it's doing very much. I don't know if you found the same on some of the traditional wahs, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, some of the traditional wahs I've found that, sometimes you lose the oomph when you kick it in, but also manage to get a great tone, so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good wahs out there. Obviously there's a few special ones out there that have gone by over the years and, they had to start somewhere. But, mine, in the terms of wahs, really is customizable. That's the thing. So it's got a really good sound. The shell, you can have whatever you want. the insides and the inductors and the pots again can be tailored to suit an individual. So if it's available on the market in terms of potentiometers and inductors, then they will go inside the wah.
So it's pretty much if you know exactly what you would want in a wah.
Yeah.
See what you can.
Yeah. You know.
So it's very much. And if I remember rightly, you said that there's different trim pots inside for kind of the gain and the bypass as well. So when it's off, it doesn't just jump up or down in level. And
So like inside, you've got. I'll just run through it again. You've got a gain pot. You've got a Q pot. Okay. And you've got mids and bass, and you've got a bypass. So you can set the bypass so that when you kick it in, it doesn't go but you can kick it in so that it, it's like 3/4 of the way, or you can set it so that it comes in above your sounds. Okay, so the trim pot is the key to it. So I kind of set them so that you notice the wah when you kick it in, so it doesn't sort of like get muffled and muted. So, but if people want to go the muted way, then they can just back off the trim pot. And they go from stop to stop, so they can't really break it.
Good stuff. It's a good endorsement. Can't really break it. That's what you want with when you're a guitarist, right? Is can't really break it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the wahs do take a lot of hammer because of the moving parts in there. So if you put good quality stuff in there, then it'll stand you in good stead. And so. That's the main thing with a wah.
Absolutely. I mean, what more can you ask for? Looks great, sounds great, hard to break.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Flattley Pedals.
Thank you very much.
So, if you want to get hold of one of these, there are a few retailers in the UK. Best place to go to is your website, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which
is www.flattleyguitarpedals.co.uk. Check it out on there. If you live, the retailers are on there. You can come direct to me. Use the contact us form on the page if you've got some specific requirements. Likewise, if you live near a retailer, you can go in and ask the retailer and say, I would like one of these products, but I would like it in this, and they'll take the order for you and they'll contact direct with us. So
that's all the drives from Flattley Pedals, as well as one of the wahs, one of the many. And there is a great range of guitar and bass pedals as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a selection of some of the drives. It's not all of them.
There's more.
Yeah, there's quite a few more on the website that you can see, or in some of the retailers. We've got 80s sounding overdrives. We have valve amp sounding overdrives. We have Klon style circuit overdrives, and we've got different fuzzes, and we also got distortions. One of my favourite pedals is the Reaper pedal. And that comes in a nice enclosure, which is polished aluminium with the design on the outside. But that one has 3 separate distortions inside it and 3 separate overdrives. Wow. So that's So you've got the different overdrive sounds and the different distortion sounds. So that's quite a lot of functions in there inside a very small box. So in effect, it's the analog multi-effects.
Hey, so for you guys that like multi-effects as well, check out Flattley Pedals. Yeah. So I think that's all for today. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and look forward to the next video, and we'll see you then. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, feel free to check out our other videos, as you can find here, or check out our Facebook and Twitter, or our Patreon page, which helps us to make more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.